Good day to you, my fellow endoskeletons. I'm Kenetor and welcome back to the channel. We've got the final room of the Duratech ship shop. So we've got our 4 lovely ships here, and let's start with this little bad boy. So this is the Idama A. The Idama A by Duratech is a robust maintenance and repair vessel with a long flight time and a wide range of spare components. With the help of an all-access rangefinder array, the Idama A can scan its surroundings and serve as an optical signal for other ships. And we're looking at 19.9 million, so about 20 million for this. Again, with the very typical surround of the cockpit area for this ship, with the rails very nice. And some floating displays there just inside. Very clear field of view on this cockpit and some simple decoration on the side. Further back we have the typical forward slants that lead up the length of the vessel and some extra decoration on the side. At the back we have a large thrust array. Now, just a quick note, we did recently have a patch that changed the thrusters, and these are using the grey variant of these thrusters. Now, these are currently missing a texture, so this is why we have this green section here. So do not worry about the weird green on the back, although it does look rather cool on this ship. So, looking around the ship, we've got a couple of buttons here. So we've got stuff for in and out for most likely propellant, and a couple of range finders situated on the side. We've got extra buttons on the side here. So we've got batteries. Let's see what that did. So batteries are in here. Now these are showing as blue, so these are disconnected batteries. So these are going to be the spare batteries for ships that you are repairing. Let's hit the rods and see where that opens up. Up here is spare rods. This door is having trouble fully opening, it would seem. Not sure where that's colliding with, but it's still going. And we just close that to stop the noise. Here we have the spare fuel tanks. So 3 small ones there. Let's just close these up. Very cool. And again, I think these buttons will be for in and out as well. Yes, looks like they are. So connecting off the side of here, here's where you would refuel. And if you need to, you've also got internal storage within this as well. So you can bring some ores along and use those as repair components. We've got a couple of radiators here on the top and good range maneuvering thrusters spread around the front area. Looks like we've got a hatch on top, but no button for this one. On the other side, looks like they've replicated the same thing. Is it the same components? Rods, batteries and tanks. So yeah, same components on the other side and same refuel area. Let's have a quick check on the bottom. More radiators down here and what looks like possibly another hatch. Got quad set up here for the receivers, most likely for ISAN quad. But what we really need is the button to get in. Now let's have a little look. See here. There we go. Very cool that that comes out sideways, leaving this middle bit open. Very nice indeed. On the inside we can see the controls on the left hand side there with the main flight computer and the FCU. Transponder is this side, and then under this little bit here we have a whole bunch of YOLO code. Going further back to the generator area now, and we've got access to further tanks on the inside here. We've got some coolant cells that are on recharge racks, and a whole bunch of controls and buttons. As to what each of these does, I'm not sure. All these buttons are the same, so these are going to be spares. In fact, these are most likely all spares. Funny that these are all connected via this connector piece here, so they're all actually active with their default names. On the other side, even more controls, some flip switches, which is really cool. And then we've got some displays here. If I turn that light off, so a bunch of panels and progress bars and extra buttons as well. So this ship is completely loaded with spares, so if you do need to go rescue someone that's crashed into an asteroid, or has taken some battle damage and their ship is now in a safe area, you can go rescue them with this and get their ship up and running. On the back here we can see that we've got the standard ship name and class, and we've got some extra buttons on the side here, including some blank ones as well, so you've got extra spares should you need them. So let's whack the service mode and head on outside and see what we've got. So here we've got the extra hatches here that have access, and this will be straight to the generators directly. Nothing further on this side. On this side it'll probably be the same. Yep, mirrored generators across there. We've got two little hatches here. We've got this access area which gives us the ability to re-cable and pipe the generator should that need doing on this ship. And let's just quickly check the top for any access as well. And we've got one extra hatch here which will give us access to another main flight computer and FCU. So the ones in here must be spares. So if you're rescuing a ship that needs a new FCU, then you can only do the one of them. Oops, get in. There we go. So yeah, I would be expecting to see a few more than just this in a spare ship. You might want to have different ones. I mean, obviously you could add these afterwards. You've got plenty of space here to add extra components, and on these top shelves as well, so you've got loads of room, but you might want to take more than just the basic with you. So let's turn the light back off. We've got rods, tanks and batteries, so you can access those hatches from inside the cockpit. On the other side we've got our lights with the lamp button, cockpit, so you can close the cockpit from inside, and slow mode, turtle mode, center, and beams. So you've got rangefinder beams there, so you can see either how far you are or just line yourself up with something, and the identity button which will be the transponder. So let's jump into the pilot seat here. Very, very good field of view. The only blockage that we tend to have is the seat itself for directly downwards, which isn't really a problem, and these large display panels here. So on the left hand side we have our rates and fuel rods and our tank times, so basically your ship stuff here. And then on the right hand side we've got all the rangefinders, so you've got distance coming off the front, sides, and all the other areas. In fact, if we get the doors again, where's the button for the doors? Cockpit. Now I've turned on those rangefinders. The description did say it has them everywhere, so you've got them coming off the bottom there, off the side, off the top, so it just becomes a bit of a beacon, so you can either find the orientation of the ship and direct it to you via voice comms. So you're like, oh, I can see that you're pointing this way, because obviously there's none coming off the back, so you should be able to see these, or at least if you're very, very far off, you'll be able to tell whether you've got 4 or 2 coming towards you, and then you can rotate the ship to see if you get view of the other ones that come in range. So with that, you'll be able to help reposition and find yourself. Maybe you're stuck in a cloud in the belt somewhere, and you really want to be able to figure out where people are, but it's too cloudy. You should still see these rangefinder beams. So yeah, very cool, very simple ship, and I'm very much liking the look of this. So that's a rescue ship. I don't think there are any other rescue ships that I've seen in the ship shops yet, so this one's pretty unique. Think about it, you might well need one of these, so come give this one a look. Moving on to the next one here. I can already see there's a big ramp set up on the front of this one. There is the Lingbacker A. The Lingbacker class ended the era of our pre-alpha 3D concepts. Now we're finally bringing the crowning glory of a ship into the game. The Lingbacker A is the 20th ship designed for our Durashop. The ship contains generous cargo-lock frame cargo holds on 3 floors, as well as various other rooms which can be used to store everything important to you. Many control options, useful functions, and adaptability make this a gentle whale, a compact but fine mobile base. And 44 million for this. And it is making a dreadful noise of a hinge not closing properly somewhere. So let's have a little look-see at this. Very big, bulky body. We've got plenty of rangefinders here on the front. We've got triangle thrusters as maneuvering thrusters on the side, but we have box thrusters on the top here. We've got some open points for any upgrades that you might want to do, be it weapons, tractor beams, what have you, and reverse thrust, most likely on both sides. Yeah, plenty of reverse thrust there as well. On the bottom there is a hell of a lot of both thrusters and the radiators as well. And at the back here we've got two sets of quads set up for the receivers. And even more thrust with these box thrusters at the back. That's a lot of thrust. This could be moon capable. Again, I would have to run a test and find out a bit later. For the rear thrust, we have this humongous array of thrusters. And I'm really liking this extra setup around here. They could have possibly fit a few more in maybe, but they've instead chosen to make it look really cool and probably just had a slightly bigger thrust setup in total. But that looks really cool, and I bet the trail for this looks just as awesome. So that's really cool. Loving the decoration around the sides of these. Very, very nice indeed. On top here we have a large bridge with a huge amount of controls. You could need probably several people here to man all these consoles. And plenty of seats as well for passengers. So let's go back to the front here, and I believe I saw some buttons to get this open. There we go. What's that one do? Oh, there we go. Ramp now works. So you got a double button there where you open the main one and then a ramp in the middle. That is really, really cool. So let's just jump up here. We've got a whole load of buttons here. So we've got hatch and ramp separately. I'm guessing don't do these in the wrong order. Here we go. We can close ourselves in. And then we've got a seat. Oh, wow. Okay. So there's a hidden seat. I wonder what that's for. Oh, I tell you what. If you're trying to line yourself up either for boarding action or to pick up people or cargo, then this seat will act as a secondary pilot seat. So that's actually very, very useful. We've got service mode here, and that just opens a couple of hatches on the inside and another area here. We could probably have a little look-see down here. Not too much access here, but I am seeing some hidden stuff. What have we here? Is this just an empty utility body? I think it's just an empty body. I'm not seeing anything on the end of that. So possibly a spare device there. Let's see. Turn that off. We've got the lights, of course. You can turn those on and off. And a cargo lock crane, which fills this whole internal area and can kind of act as a shield to stop any unwanted guests getting further into the ship through the front. So we'll just turn that off. We've got plenty of decoration here with the different decorative plates, as well as decals in here as well, and some lights on the side. Coming back here, we've got two options. We can go further up, or there is a back area to this ship as well. So I'm guessing this will be for the outer door maybe, but I'm not seeing any buttons, so maybe external access only. And then on this side we have access to fuel, and I can nearly hear the generators here. What have we got here? Individual lights for the individual rooms. And you can store a bunch of stuff in here as well, should you need to. Or possibly even upgrade it, and maybe there even might be room for a respawn machine. I'd have to get that one double checked. So coming back here, we can also come up to the other areas here. We've got tons and tons of YOLO racks here, filled to the brim nearly, but plenty of space to add extra code should you need to. This bit leads back to the front here, so these all sync up quite nicely. In here, just as I heard, just above us from the other rooms, we have the generators, as well as a kind of drawing board here that you could probably put anything on that you wished. On the other side,
we've got the same, but this one actually has some controls. So in here, this is going to be all the generator controls, unit rates, coolant rates, that sort of thing. And we've got a couple of buttons here: engine, eco mode, climb. Not sure what that does. I'm sure it'll be in the manual if they have one. So further back, we've got access to the bridge area. Just get on that. There we go. So you've got a couple of passenger seats each side, and then you've got this huge bridge area, which is very strange that it's completely unlit, but given the size of this area and the shape of it, they've probably done that to not get any reflections on the controls. So our main view area has a huge field of view, but of course we are very limited below, but we're just raised up enough to maybe not crash into anything in front. But I wouldn't trust it personally. It's just a bit too much cut off below, and I would end up clipping an asteroid knowing my luck. Right in front of us though, we have a whole bunch of buttons. So we've got slow mode, total mode and cruise, all that sort of stuff is standard. Identity here. And then they've used the larger progress bars so you can see them from further back. Obviously you can see the smaller one down here. It's a little bit harder to read when you're looking at just the tiny writing. These other ones, completely out of view, can't see them really from the seat, except for these ones. So going a bit closer, we can again see the generator and tanks, all these controls here. Further round, we've got eco mode there, we've got lights off, we've got spotlights, we've got the service mode. Not seeing anything pop out here, but we'll have a look outside after. Bridge lights are separate. Got all these extra doors, so we go check out where those are in a minute. The hatch and the hangar. Ramp. Let's just open up all of those. Whoa! What is this? Okay, wow. You can open up the entirety of the top of the ship. We are going to go have a look at that in just a moment, because that's pretty damn sick. Just to finish off the controls here, we have our position via ISAN, orientation and destination values. Further along here we have receiving information for the different dev stations, as well as putting in extra coordinates. We've got save, load, next and previous. It's probably used in conjunction with these, so you can set your different waypoints. There are instructions across the top here on exactly what to do with that, and of course the buttons here of 0 and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Just like we saw in the other ships, but this is using the bigger buttons. So maybe they could import that smaller setup to here, and it might take up a little bit less room, but they've certainly got the space, so it's not too bad. So let's quickly head on out, see if we can see anything that's changed here. So yeah, these were side doors. Looks like, yeah, the button for those doors is of course further back, and I had completely missed it. There's also a ramp that comes out, very nice to see, and those doors fit nice and flush inside with the external bottom being here. So just look there, door closes, ramp goes in, and you'd never even know there is a ramp. That is super cool. Now look at this. This is just bonkers. They've created these humongous doors, so you can bring in like massive amounts of salvage completely whole. That's going to take some doing to do so carefully, but possible nonetheless. Or you could just stack this with ore, like just raw ore blocks. Either way, that's nuts. You could also use this as a Q ship as well. You could have a couple of separate ships in here that are held in place with the cargo lock frame that are purely just torpedo launchers. You open these doors and you can let rip with a bunch of torpedoes and some handheld designators. So definite war implications for this ship as well, which is really cool. And of course it unloads just as I go to look for any service hatches. But we've pretty much covered this one. So if you do want a very multi-purpose ship, we've seen this with a couple of other ships. Occam's surely got one as well. And yeah, you could control this and use it in any way that you see fit. Any sort of cargo, salvage, or even secondary uses that maybe the designers didn't think of. Jumping on to the next one now. We have the Varna B. High capacity freighter equals box ship. Many of the ships in this category seem to be designed according to this maxim. We refuse! This is the Varna class superfreighter made by Duratech. Puristic approach meets uncompromising aesthetics. The B variant focuses on excellent mining performance, equipped with 2 mining lasers, 2 ore collectors. Asteroids are eaten precisely thanks to triangular 3-axis turret control. This voluptuous lady outfitted with 480 crates, a powerful thruster array with a maximum speed of up to 130 meters per second, which is extremely impressive, I might add, for that amount of crates, and the proven ISAN quad navigation system. This offers experienced miners an excellent solution for the belt and beyond. And of course, only 50 million. That is a very, very reasonable price for that amount of crates, and the speed it can go, and mining lasers. This is just very, very nice indeed. But it probably does lack quite a bit on the plating side. I'm seeing a lot of use of the floor plates here, and my guess is that this is not going to be covering up any particular amount of plating. This is all going to be just a thin plating. So if you get attacked in this, you are going to suffer a hell of a lot of damage, and this plating is not going to protect you. And again, as I commented on some other ships as well, we don't know if this floor plating will protect very well against the corrosion damage. Even if it is set to a decent material in terms of corrosion, we don't know whether this is going to be enough with this thickness. So time will tell, but I'm sure they will change it should it not be the case. On the top here we have plenty of these radiators lined across the side. We've got a little tuck away here with the maneuvering thrusters in. We've got really crazy plating that goes all the way around here, which kind of looks really cool. It's like a route that you can trace around the ship, which looks really nice. We've got a collector here, which is right next to a bunch of generators. Yeah, 2 sets of generators on this side, and no, in Duratech this is most likely again mirrored on the other side with another collector there. So where are the lasers? Oh, well, there's one for starters, and the other one's at the top there. We've also got a hatch just below it. Let's see if this is manual at all. It is manual. What do we have hidden in here? Just a secret hatch. Oh, I see some purple there. Oh, that's from the thruster. Interesting, very interesting. Just a bit of a sneaky peek hatch. There we go. Come on, close. Oh, that hasn't got any limits set. That's not good. Okay, down here we have what looks like... Is it 1 seat or 2 seats? No, it's just the 1 seat. Just a very, very big canopy area. Let's hit that button and get this bad boy open. What do we got? Okay, double reverse canopies. I like it. So in here we can see there is a whole bunch of YOLO in there that we can't quite access right now. Further forward we have the waypoint system, and where you would enter all of your numbers and stuff for the navigation. We also have, for access to the ship and manual mining, we've got the resource bridge and controls for the propellant there. And just jump off of here, put the light back on. We've got the main pilot seat here with some extra stuff behind. Let's just jump forwards here. We have engine, open slow mode, turtle, pathfinder, mining mode, and lasers, and a really cool Duratech logo built into a panel there. So, and then just under here we have identity hiding here. So we've got a whole bunch of stuff, but these are not going to be very useful if you're sitting in a seat here. I have to turn around to see those, but we've got some directly above us. So total rods, total tanks, and the times for those. Gen rates are a little bit lower. This is making me feel a little bit claustrophobic. This is really in your face. We've got ISAM position easy to get to just quickly to the side, and your main important ones here generate batteries and stuff just to the left as well. Just below you we've got displays, waypoint selectors, loading and saving. We've got a mining mode, so let's turn that on. It seems that automatically turned on turtle mode, which is pretty cool. And then we've got the lasers themselves, which don't seem to be firing. Not sure how that works, but we will see. We've got a button here just below the seat, and that will be for the cockpit canopy, locking you in. Very nice. Field of view wise, I think it's okay. There's plenty blocking very weird side angles, but for the most part the main frontal area and the side areas are okay. You're not going to be at risk of crashing into anything because you have very good field of view in a big circle in front of you here, but this does block a significant portion of the side view and below. So looking further around here, so the laser has repositioned itself pointing downwards. This one stayed the same. Interesting. Let's find our way on the inside if we can. I'm not sure if there is an inside on this one, but we will find out. It certainly feels like there should be with those hatches. So let's just wait for this to reload and see if we can make our way inside. See, at the bottom here, this one isn't a hatch, but the top one was. So let's see if we can find any particular route inside. I really don't think there is. I think this is literally all crates. Given how much they said there was in the description, I don't think there's going to be much more of an inside of a ship. This is just all going to be crates and beams. Yeah, all the generators are external. The only thing we have hatch-wise is this thing, which I could try getting in. Let's see. Oh, just a bit of a crawl space here. Although I can't crawl through this, so I'd have to reorientate, and I don't want to trap myself in this ship because we've already done that being trapped in a ship, and that's not particularly fun. So let's just turn that one around. So a huge mammoth of a ship, just incredibly huge. The thruster array is just nuts with the amount of thrust, because this covers the entire backside. Bit more room for triangle thrusters here should they want to add them at a later date, or if it needs it, if any changes come in, but just box thrusters here. That's going to cost you an absolute ton of energy, but will be very efficient on the propellant compared to the triangles. So on to the last ship here, and it seems to already have a huge hole in it. So let's jump down here and read the description. So this is the synth gut. Frame in asteroids, scrap, or even complete ships. The synth gut by Duratech is like a blank canvas, hungry to be stuffed and filled. Go on a trip and amaze your fellow endos with all the exciting finds you've made, thanks to the huge framing ship. Well, at least until the voxel limit kicks in to remind you that all good things must come to an end. And we're looking at 51.7 million for this one. And it's so big, it's hard to get it to load without it going to LOD. So, on the back here, we've got yet again another huge box thruster array for forward thrust. And moving further forward, we've got covered receivers here, just hiding at the top. We've got a bunch of hinges here, so there's definitely going to be something in this area. Can't see a button from here though. Is there one tucked away? No. Okay, maybe that'll be for service mode. The main central area. Now this is one very large cargo lock frame, as you can see via the telltale sign of the frame itself. Below we've got a ginormous generator set up. This thing is huge, and you can see that one set is red and one set is blue. This means this set is active and this set is off. So that will be their auto rod system. So as these ones are running out, it will switch to this set automatically and you won't run out of power. And that's duplicated on the other side as well. At the back of the ship here, you can see we've got a ton of YOLO racks, plenty of space to improve this and add more should you wish, and the flight controls are back here as well. So we've got a couple of little things here. So this seat could possibly... oh, that's not good. We've got the light behind us here. That is making these buttons hard to see, and I'm not seeing a light button on this panel. So that's a bit of a pain. Both hard to see either way. But you've got, by the looks of it, I think I'm seeing flight controls like cruise and turtle mode, so you can fly it from in here to make sure that you can see everything. Obviously any pilot chair at the front will not be able to see here, so you control it in here to make sure you can get whatever you're trying to get inside the frame, no problem. And then if we turn on this, there we go. That is the cargo lock frame. Unfortunately, that does mean that this person is now trapped in this area. It will probably also control this thing. Now this is a tractor beam, so if you just get close, you can just finally reproduce some stuff and get it moved into the right area, so you don't have to either have it locked very close to the edge where you could have an accident with it later, and yeah, it just keeps everything nice and safe. There's a huge amount of rangefinders as well that surround this, so you can tell if you're going to clip an object if you're moving in from a large distance away. Further around here, we've got the main pilot seat up the front here with some cool purple lighting behind. We've got some reverse thrust here and a really cool artistic plating across the front. Further down, we've got gate. Huh, is this a door? I'm not seeing anything. Gate upwards. There's no... is there a hidden button here somewhere? Nope, just a light. Okay, not sure why they've put the gate thing in there. Maybe Duratech can tell us in the comments. Along the bottom, we've got again more thrusters and all the radiators for the generators to run. Obviously, you're going to need a lot of cooling for when you're running this many generators, because this thing takes so much power. We've got loading bay and no parking signs, which is really fun to see. Now, further down here, if we come to the back again and look up, this is where we have our access to the main pilot controls. And you can fly straight up here. So you can run this as a one-man ship, so you can get roughly into position with this and then run down there to fly you a bit more accurately in the other area. Now this one, we've got again that same controls set up, copied from the other ship with all the numbers for the waypoint system. We've got a light control here under the little flip hatch. We've got service mode, identity, loading and saving of waypoints, and then the critical controls over here, like your slow, cruise, turtle modes, and all the gen rates and what have you for your ship resources. Oops. Field of view wise, you've got pretty good downwards, which is good for a tall ship, and very reasonable array here in terms of view, but we are being blocked quite significantly from the other side, left and right. So let's go down here. We've got glass all the way down here, and I think I saw either buttons or... nope, on the inside of there, that is the ship name and registration. We've also got some lights in here as well, but I really want to turn these lights off. But first, let's have a little look around, see what we can find in terms of service. Now, the only hinges I saw were, I think, at the top. Everyone else didn't really have a service hatch or any idea of one. And there we go, at the top we have 3 large propellant tanks on each side of this hatch, for a total of 6, and the hidden resource bridge in here as well, should you need to refuel the ship when you're at safety of a station. Otherwise, that is hidden away. Let's check the front of the ship now, and we didn't get any hatch or anything open here, but yeah, that's going to be a mystery. I'm definitely going to ask Duratech about that one, on what that gate means. Yeah, very cool, very large area. You can either store a ton of ore in here, but more appropriately a ship this big with this big an opening will be for salvage. And salvage in Starbase is going to help you by meaning you don't have to buy or build any of those parts. You could take a half beaten up ship and you can strip it for parts. Anything that's not broken or damaged, you can just straight up use that in the building of another ship or upgrade an existing ship. So that's actually really, really cool. Plenty of thrust, both for maneuvering, not so much for braking. I think this could probably do with a bit more braking thrust. You know what, I don't even think it's got any at all. Oh, just off the front there. So yeah, this is woefully not enough braking thrust, because you are going to need a hell of a lot more, especially if you were to fill that area up with a bunch of stuff to carry. Then you are definitely going to need more thrust, because you're going to be carrying so much extra mass in addition to the ship itself. This will just take forever to stop, but at least it's got something, which is better than nothing, and cool to see some more vertical designs in this ship shop as well. But there you have it, that is all 5 rooms of the Duratech ship shop. Which was your favourite? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Kenetor, out.